We've gone through the basics of morphemes and covered a few word classes. Now we move on to a part of speech known as the adjective. You're probably aware that adjectives describe nouns, but you might not have considered their function. From a morphological perspective, sometimes they work more like nouns, and sometimes they're more like verbs. Let's start with some examples. In ancient Greek, adjectives decline exactly like nouns do. In fact, they routinely take the same endings for number, gender, and case. Since that's true, we can see examples like hodikaios anthropos, the just person or the fair person, versus hedikaia gune, which would mean the just woman or the fair woman. And in that case, we have an opposition between dikaios, which is masculine singular and nominative as well, and dikaia, which is feminine singular and nominative. In both situations, we have an adjective describing a noun, but they're working like a noun, declining like a noun. Now I'll draw a counterexample from Japanese. In Japanese, many adjectives work a lot more like verbs. In fact, they are specifically what we would call stative verbs, which are verbs that indicate a state instead of an action. So a description like is happy or is hot would indicate a state. For example, atsui means is hot in Japanese. Those can act as true adjectives in front of a noun, or they can instead take the place of a verb. In languages that treat adjectives more like nouns, don't be surprised to find them used as a noun. Take the ancient Greek example I gave you just a moment ago. I can instead say hodikaios, which means literally the just or the fair. In English, that would translate to the just one or the fair one. And in that case, we have dikaios working exactly like what we would expect a noun to work like in Greek. On the other hand, in Japanese, the words I used in those sentences work exactly as we would expect a verb to work, and they are conjugated like a Japanese verb. There's a good deal more to be said for adjectives beyond these basics, but it's worth reviewing the lessons on nouns and verbs to dig into their properties. And come around next time when we meet the very versatile grammatical particle.